This drill, the skill drill, is going to be emphasizing on the new Scott X3 SCBA. In particular, the Universal Emergency Breathing Support System, abbreviated UEBSS. In doing so, in this objective of this video, I'm going to show you the differences right now, very briefly, what we have on board our units. There is a difference, and there is an important difference, especially when we show you when we hook up into the Bronto. And so this whole objective, this goal of this video is showing you two processes that you would use the EBSS, or the Universal Emergency Breathing Support System. One is emergency procedures, and we will show you that, we'll demonstrate that for you, where you will actually connect into each other using that system. The emergency procedures is, you would go into a situation, and the situation has gone sideways, your partner has lost air for whatever reason, and he has to connect into you. This is truly engineered for a buddy breathing system. So that's one. The other system that we use is going to be used for the Bronto. Okay? So where you go up into the cage and you're going to be breathing off the Bronto's supplementary air. And we're going to show you how to connect. Okay? Now, I've got all three apparatuses, SCBAs that we have. We have an AP50, AP75, and the newest one is the X3. Okay? I'm going to show you some of the differences with this. I'll start out with the AP50. Okay? Majority of our fleet are these. The AP50 is the old ones. Now, we do have 4 in these particular models, the AP50, with an additional system on the back that connects into the Bronto. Only 4. So when you guys have going through the general alarm and you have one of these old AP50s off, let's say engine 205, it may not connect into the Bronto. We only have 4 of these, and they're with the Bronto. So the subtle way you can look at it and know is that you'll see one black hose right here, and there's a holder here. You can see that, and this comes off just like that. This AP50 system is the old system which connects into a Hansen fitting, a coupling, which is connecting to the hose. And I will show you that in a little bit here. Okay, so this is the difference between this. This fitting is not the same that's on these. Okay, but this is the old style that will eventually be faded out. But I have to show you this in this drill is because they are in service. Okay, so that's the AP50. Set this one down. Now the AP75. Now we only have 2 of these. In comparison with those of the AP50, we have 4 of them. They are located on the Bronto. We have 2 AP75s because they don't make the old AP50s anymore. So the transition took place when these were purchased, and they came up with what they called a dual EBSS. Not universal, but dual. The X3 came out with a universal EBSS because it's universal to all packs. It will have a universal one that's NFPA approved. This one here is developed only for Scott. It will only fit Scott. Okay, and it's called dual EBSS. Same principle. Okay, it is a buddy breathing system, and we only have 2 of these. Okay, so the system is very simple. It's the same thing. It has this connection. That's the dual EBSS. There's a miniature manifold. There's a female-male connection. These will not fit into the X3. They will only fit into the AP75. So an AP75 manifold will fit into an AP75 manifold. It will also fit into the Bronto with a special connection. Okay? And I will show you that too. Let's put this away for a minute. Now the X3. The X3 with the UEBSS, Universal Emergency Breathing Support System. Okay, this does have that manifold, just like the dual EBSS, right here. There it is right here. Okay. And to begin with, I know this is a new model for us, so I'm just going to briefly go over some of the activities with it. Okay, here we are. I placed this on the table here, spread eagles, just so we can look at the functions that are different from the old packs. To begin with, I wanted to talk about the control console. Okay, this control console is actually on the AP75, but not on the AP50. And there's a few functions on here that you shouldn't be aware of. And you may be aware of them because the AP75 is very similar. Okay? It does have a gauge here that you can visually see. It also has a light indicator telling you the tank pressure. It also has an alarm, LED lights that tell you when it goes into a pass alarm, it starts flashing. Of course, it has an emergency pass alarm right here. So if you push this button, of course it'll activate. No different than the AP75. On the side here, there's the cancel button, the reset button for the pass alarm. When you do shut it off, you have to remember this though. When you do reset, like let's say you're standing at BA control, it starts to chirp, you either can start wiggling to activate the motion to stop it, or you can just push this button once. Now if you're putting it away, you push it once to reset it, push it again to actually shut it off. And we'll simulate that for you, okay? So this is the control console. Of course, this is the face mount regulator, no different to the AP75s with the heads-up display, with the HUD display. 2 green lights indicate full cylinder. You will not get 2 green lights on here, but you will get 1 green light. And the reason being is because there's only 1 display. At a 1 glowing green light on here on the HUD, you will still get a green light on here, but this tells you on 1 green light on here that you're at 3/4 full. When you go to all of a sudden a flashing yellow, you will be at a half. This will change to yellow. When you go back to here and you're going down to now you're only got a third, and now since a third of the tank, one thing I have to say here, the NFPA for the new X3s, you alarm a lot quicker. You will alarm at 1/3 tank. The other ones was at a 1/4 tank, you would alarm. They boosted it up where they gave you more time to get out of the building and your activity to a safer area. So they bumped it up to 1/3. It will activate at 1/3. Okay? So now, when this flashes red, this will also flash red. Okay? With those lights indicators, so you got this in your face mask going off, and you also have this at your console going off. Okay? You also have these other lights here, these other sensor module lights. And they correspond exactly with the same sequence and purposes of the different colored lights as these do. So that means in normal operation, they will be flashing periodically green. Okay? If there's something goes down on your level of your air, goes down to the 1/3, again, because it's only 1 indication, it will only flash 1 green. So you start with a full tank in HUD, it'd be 2 lights, 2 green lights. When it goes down to 3/4, 1 green light, still flashing green, still flashing green. Once this goes to a half a tank, which is a flashing yellow, this will also flash yellow. When you go down to a 1/3 tank, it will go flashing red, these will turn flashing red. Okay, so what we're going to do is simulate this. Before going further, if you want to check the battery as your equipment checks, and you want to check something, check the battery, make sure it's okay, you can actually use it. This is activated right now. So what we can do, I'll go to this enter button, the side yellow button, and push it once. They'll periodically go blue, and they'll go green. If it's green, your batteries are good. Let's try it. There's the blue, solid green, and then it's out. That tells me that my batteries are good. How often we change batteries? They recommend that we change batteries as often as we recommend to the public to change their smoke detector batteries. That's when we should change batteries. If you do change batteries, you don't change just the 1 or 2, you change all of them. And they're located here. And I believe there's, I'm not sure, I'm thinking there are about 6, maybe 8 AA batteries in here. Okay? And when you change them, you change them all. Okay, so let's fire this up and let's try this thing. Okay, you notice? Let's take a look at some of these lights here. Okay, so we got air. This is registering, it's getting ready. That one little single red light that you see is for your battery. It'll eventually go out. See, now it's going to pre-alarm. We hit the cancel button, just like that. There we go. If you see that little red dot, that means your batteries are going dead. Okay, so you have to change your batteries, just like the AP75s. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, so we're going to we're going to shut this off so we can simulate. Okay, we'll cancel that. You'll notice here, I've got two green lights. You got a green light here, and your level gauge still says you're full, and this is flashing green. Normal operation. Okay, we're breathing, we're going down to 3/4. Now what you got? You got one green light, pre-alarm, let's just cancel that. You got one green light. And if you notice, you're at 30 PSI. Okay, you got still a green light here, and this is still flashing green. As you've seen right there. Let's go down to a half a tank. You notice it's flashing yellow now. Okay, let's cancel that. We're flashing yellow yet now. It's telling me we got half a tank. You'll notice on the console it is yellow, and you'll notice here it is flashing yellow. It looks green, but if you put your hand over top, it's actually yellow. Okay, it looks green, but it's actually yellow. Okay, now let's go into alarm, the 1/3 tank. Okay, you notice flashing red, indication red. This is actually red. You'll see it in the dark, it's actually red. Okay, vibe alert here is also indicating your vibe alert's going off. Okay, I'll shut that off. Okay, now we're out of there. Now, as I told you before, it's going to pre-alarm. There's two things to shut this thing off. One, that's just to reset it. It doesn't shut it off. Now we want to shut it off. If you go put this back in the truck, it's going to go off again. So you have to hit it again. When you hear that one chirp, it's off. Okay? So another thing I want to show you on here, so we talked about the UEBSS a little bit. The RIT connection also is here. This is only to be used for recharging your cylinder. The person's trapped, for example. There was a collapse. You need to give them some air. You come in with the RIT kit and you refill his bottle. It's not used to be buddy breathing. It's not to be used on a regular basis to, if you're working hard and you don't want to get out, so we fill you up with some air. Strictly for emergency procedures. You're stuck in the building and we've got to get you some air because you're running out of air. We can fill you with this with the RIT kit. In this drill, we're not going to do that, but you have done it in past drills, and we'll emphasize that in another drill. But here it is. It's the same connection as your other AP50s and your AP75s. Okay? Now, I'm going to pull this over and just emphasize on the UEBSS now. I got another harness here. Okay? And I'm just going to talk to you about the connections of the manifolds. Okay, I want you guys, when you guys put these things away, be meticulous. Because remember, you're in the fire and you will not be, you'll be having gloves on, and the last thing you want is somebody rammed it in there and didn't nest it nicely for deployment. So take that extra little time when you put it away nicely. You see all those my nice wraps? And I stuff it up top there, and I have this leading as a lead hand out. Okay, so picture yourself in the dark and you've got firefighter gloves on. This is simple to grab. Don't stuff it way up there and you have to fight with it to get out. As I pull this out, as you'll notice, these comes with snaps here and here. Okay, and you snap, you grab this. Okay, give it a yank. There it is. Boom, deploy, nice and pulled out. There it is. Okay, now with these couplings, again, they only fit with the X3s. They do not fit with the AP75s. Okay, they only work with the UEBSS system. Okay, so I'm going to pull this one off another unit, and we'll actually demonstrate this with what you guys are going to actually do the drill doing this. But I'm just showing you the connections to orientate you. Okay, now taking a look at these here. It doesn't matter if it's male you use or the female you use. Each one's supplied with a male and a female. The reason being because you don't know which one you have when you're out there and who you're paired with. So you have the choice. It doesn't matter. And they're simple connects. So if you went like this, boom, you're connected. That's as simple as it is. Okay. Right now, if this guy was the guy that needed help, he has no air. Now, if he had 30 pounds of air, because it's joined on, you divide that by 2 because there's 2 breathing off it. You're down to 15 each. Okay. So remember, when you connect in, of course, you know, since you're buddy breathing, you're on your way out. You should not be continue doing work. Okay. Maintain this while you get out. We'll show you that in the drill. Okay, because now you have this much line of connection. Okay, so now you're kind of connected like Siamese twins. Okay, one guy can't take off. You're connected with this umbilical cord. Okay, so now to disconnect, push them together and then slide it back. Okay, once again, you don't have to push anything in. So shut your eyes, you'll find the connections, and boom, you're in. That's how easy it goes. Now, it won't move, it won't get out. Okay, even if you try to pull this out, it won't come off. You have to actually push this together, slide the sleeve, and it comes out. Same thing to the other side, push together, it's not a problem. Another thing I want to make a point, don't connect another guy into here. Okay, you can connect another guy, but don't do that because it's not recommended, because now you divided the tank pressure by 3. Okay, it's not recommended to do that. Okay, again, push these together, and out I go. Okay, so those are the UEBSS. I want to show you something else on here that's new to the X3. On the X3, they have a mask-mounted regulator, the MMR, which you're familiar with the face-mounted regulator, but you'll probably notice how come it has a connection. Okay, 2 reasons. One, it can be serviced without delivering the whole pack. Okay, if there was something wrong with this, we can just send this or have one on spare and it's back in service. The other thing, if you had a catastrophic failure, your pack didn't work, you tried the dual UEBSS and it didn't work connecting, and you had a catastrophic failure, you can actually disconnect this. Now, same method, push it together, slide the sleeve, let go. Okay, I tried the dual UEBSS, it's not working. So therefore, I'm going to connect into here, as you can see, and once again, I push it in. Now I'm breathing off of my mask onto his tank. Okay, once again, there's 2 of us breathing off this tank. Okay, so the 2 things that you can use with this dual UEBSS, okay, in emergency procedures is the buddy breathe through manifold to manifold, or MMR, mask mounted regulator to the manifold. Okay? Now, since I've talked about that, and don't worry, you guys will be doing the drills. We'll show you an actual drill later on in this video series that you'll see, and you'll more or less mimic exactly what we're going to be doing. But this is the orientation. Okay, so that's back in. Now, what I'm going to show you, I showed you the dual UEBSS, I showed you the extra light sensors, I showed you the console, okay, the RIT connection. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the Bronto, how you connect into the Bronto. Okay, so I'm going to go up right now, up to the cage to show you where the cables are. Okay. So the Bronto is going to have the capability, as I was saying before, to connect into the AP50, the AP75, and the X3. And this is where they're located. Okay, you take a look at this. That's the AP50. There's no change, there's strictly a coupling. Okay, and you'll notice there's a nipple there. You line up the nipple with the notch, push it in, and they come apart. Okay, this goes to the AP50. And while I'm doing this, I'll bring up the tank and exactly show you. Okay, now as you can see, I brought all my packs back up onto the table. The AP50, the AP75, and the X3. Okay, these hoses I got out from the Bronto, from the cabinet up on top where you saw me get them. Now these are all, there's four connections up there. There's a manifold of 4 connections for 4 firefighters to go off the breathing air. Now I'm going to show you how to connect into the AP50. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do, when I show you the demonstration, when I do actually go up there and connect, I'm just going to show you one connection with the X3. What I'd like you to do during your drill, and your officer will lead this, I'd like you to do all 3 of them. It won't take you long to do it. But I want you to be familiar, get your hands on connecting the AP50, the A75, B75, and the X3. Even though, in theory, they're same connections, but I want you to get your hands because it would be memory for you. Okay? So, once again, here are the hoses. Now, if you look at these hoses, as you can see here, there's a nipple here. This comes off like this with a handsome fitting. That's for the AP50. Okay? Now, all these connect, even though they have an adapter. This adapter here, okay, this adapter here is the exact same fitting. So let's say you didn't have the 75, but you had another AP50. You don't have to use the adapter. The adapter is attached here for the use for the AP75. Now, this gets a little bit more confusing. It's because there is another one on the X3, but they're not the same. Okay? They do not switch. So this one, this for the AP75 will not fit in to the X3. Okay? So, but the same thing happens here. It's the same thing here, where the connection is. They are connected right now as an AP50. You want to go X3, we attach this attachment on, then we can connect to the X3. Once again, this will only fit the X3, will not fit any other one. Unless we just go like this, which it will fit into AP50, but will not fit into AP75 because this connection doesn't work. These are called rectus fittings. Again, what were they called? Rectus fittings. That's the word of the day. Okay, let's go back to the AP50. Okay, AP50 connection. Okay, let's pull our hose. Okay, before you go up there, you're gonna hit those yellow tanks up there. You turn on one of those air tanks, gives you an air supply, your 4,500 psi. It gives it to the manifold that's in the cage. Okay, connect this into the cage, and we'll show you that when we get up there. This goes into, there are female connections. You connect that into the cage. And this one here, again, find the nub, line them up, push it in, there you are. Now you're breathing. Now you're connected in. Okay? Shut your tank off, make sure your tank is off, because now you're breathing off that. You don't want to be breathing off the tank air. Okay? So we are on there. Okay? Now with the P75, the connection was like this. We take them apart. We know we got this connection. We attach this, the fitting into here. Here it is. This goes into the cage, in the manifold of the cage. We pull our dual UEBSS, which is manufactured by Scott, and boom, you're in. That's all you're in. Now you're connected. Okay? Now, I want to show you something in preparation when you do connect. But let me finish this with the X3. So that's the AP75. Now the X3. Same thing with the X3. Like I mentioned before, is designed for only the X3. The fitting is. So you take your fitting, you take the red knobs off, and try to keep these. I know they're probably going to get lost, but throw them in your bunker jacket. You know, don't toss them because they just keep the fittings from getting dirty when they're not in use. Okay, once again, fit this in here and pull your manifold, connect in, and off you go. Okay, now before we go up to the cage, I want to show you something that you should perhaps consider prepping your. I'm just going to stick these. Whoop. I found them. I'm going to put them back in my pocket. Okay, one thing I wanted to show you here is this. When you set up your pack before you're going up to the cage, you set, instead of having this, because you're going to have a lot of cable, you have all this cable, and depending how much movement you're up there, you shouldn't be moving too much anyways, because there's only a small cage. But the manufacturer mentioned this, where you can design, can prep your pack to accommodate this hose. So depending how long you need your hose, if you need the hose, you can deploy it all the way out. But you can imagine if you have a couple guys up there with all this hose around there, it might get cumbersome. So you may want to consider this. Okay, so like once again, we'll have this popped in here. And you'll notice this netting here. They actually designed this like this. Okay, they put the male and in the bottom hole, the top one up top like that. Okay, close your connection. So let's say you're donning your gear on. You're getting outside, you're getting ready to get in the cage. You could get this ready because you know you can go on to breathing air. Okay, before you even start flying. Okay, so you're getting this all ready, and there you go. Now, you want to connect in. So you've got this is all taken care of. You don't have got an extra hose cord hanging out. Okay, now here we are. This is connecting to the cage array. We connect the cage. This is the amount of length you got. As you can see, it's quite long. Okay, and with this being long, it might be just too much up there. And that's what I'm saying. Okay, so here, boom, there you are. Here's your connection. Okay, again, once again, when you take it apart, just put your hand on here so this doesn't push back and forth. Just hold it, stabilize it, push it together, slide back the sleeve, boom, you're off. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, I'm going to start make my way up to the cage, and I'll show you exactly where those cables are and how we hook in. Okay, now that I'm geared up, I just want to let you know I turned on the air, one cylinder of air on the Bronto. So this is charged up. Here's the manifold that you're going to be connecting into. Okay, what I would suggest you do is connect into it first and then connect onto you. Okay, that way you're not fumbling around and you can't breathe in the meantime when you're trying to connect this in. So I'm just going to get down here so you can see it. I take the male end. Okay. Check, it's in. Okay. I got my proper fitting, and I don't know, can you see this? Anyway, I'm going to connect in. And with the partner, you can see it better. So I'm trying to do this while I'm sitting down. There, I'm in. Okay, I'm connected. Now I'm going to put my regulator on. Now, I'm not breathing off my tank. I'm actually breathing off the Bronto. Okay, so I'll take this off. You'll notice too, when you work off the Bronto and you shut your tank off, and you're working off the Brontos there, you'll notice that your lights don't work either. Okay, because you haven't activated your pack. Your pack is not turned on. So right now if you turned yours on, then you would have lights, but it's giving you a reading of your own pack, not the air that's on the Bronto. So I'm connecting to the Bronto, and I can breathe into the Bronto. Just like so. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, I'm not showing you this in this video, in this drill, but that's why I don't have you putting on your full bunker gear, because we're not deploying the Bronto jib. I'm pretty small. I hope some of you bigger firefighters can do this, but you might have to actually get one of the Bronto ops to lift up the jib. But I want you to try it with all 3 packs. I want you to get comfortable. There's the AP50's connection, the AP75, and the X3. Okay? So that's it.